So to tell you a little bit about why we're here, on February 7th, we were doing a presentation at the city council meeting for some police officers and also another one of our employees of community development that were involved in life-saving efforts. Little did we know that earlier that day we had an incident that took place in our recreation center. We had a 75-year-old man that was at the front talking to Bob Perry, and he fell out, had a cardiac incident. Immediately, Sue Tangeman saw what was happening. We were at 8:30 in the morning. She saw what was happening. She ran over. She knew he was in a cardiac condition. She started compressions. Kaylee Stanley goes and to retrieve an AED, comes into the city hall portion and says, hey, we have a man having a cardiac episode, I need help. Kevin Pokorny rolls back over to assist. So we have Sue starting with compressions on this gentleman. Bob calls 911 immediately like he's supposed to do. Kaylee runs for the AED, asks for help. Kevin arrives to help. So it's kind of a perfect storm of what we train, what we empower our people to do, is to take action and help save a life. As they continued, they hooked the AED up. The AED showed no shock advised. So usually if somebody's in a cardiac condition, it'll say shock advised, you push the button and it shocks them. This patient didn't have any heart rhythm, that's why there was no shock advised. He was, for all intents and purposes, he died. The compressions that Sue started kept this guy alive. Kevin took over compressions, because when you're involved in a situation like that, to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, it wears on you. Physically, it wears on you mentally. So you have a team going on. Kevin took over compressions. The man came awake, and then he died again. He came back, and he died. The compressions were the only thing that was keeping this gentleman alive. The fire department personnel arrived on the scene. We had a fire crew of 5 firefighters and a battalion chief. They hooked their heart monitor up to him. They started doing compressions as well. The guy would come out, and he'd go back. He'd come out and be alive again, and he'd go back. It said it happened about 3 times. They had an IV hooked up to the gentleman as well, because they're shooting him with everything they can to keep this gentleman alive. They ended up doing something, it's called, they paced him. And by paced him, P-H-C-E-D, it's like a pacemaker. So whatever device they had sent a charge through this guy, and it's such a painful, intense charge that it jolted this guy awake. And the guy sat up, physically ripped his IV out and became combative. They brought him back by using this pacing type of thing. He was transported to the hospital. He survived. I talked to his wife on Friday. We asked him if they'd like to come. I think he's still in condition. He's recovering at home. But when we look at what these people did, it was everything that we needed to do. We also had staff from our city help cleaning up afterwards as well. So it was really a total team effort. We put a lot of money into training. We empower our employees. We reinforce it. But when you guys do something like this, when we heard about this, we have awards through the police department that we give our officers, but we thought this was important enough for what we do from our executive staff, the city, the mayor. We have to recognize for employees like this, so we have our own Vista Police Department City Lifesaving Award that we'd like to present you, because you, in fact, saved this guy's life. And without what you did, this guy would have died. And so I just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you as an employee, as a citizen, for what you guys do for us. And I couldn't be more proud of you, and I'm speaking for Brenda, I'm speaking for the mayor and our council. Thank you. Sue? Certificates for the firefighters as well. These guys will say, we're just doing our job. And it's a little bit more than that when they do what they do in concert. So these will be presented to our fire department, our firefighters. We appreciate everything that those guys do as well. Mayor?
Yeah, I just kind of want to echo what, Bob said tonight. You never know what or how you're going to react in that situation. And, we all watch TV and gosh, everybody just jumps into action, but that's not real life. But I think because of the training that these individuals had and just their calmness and their maturity and their coolness, Bob said it, you guys saved a life. And I think behalf of all the city council and our citizens, we appreciate that, and we do want to just say thank you, so, very cool. Thanks, guys.